Hello guys, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about AT&T, and there's an article here which I'll link for you down below in the description. So we're going to talk about what's been going on with AT&T stock, and obviously we know that it's in a downward trend right now. It's moving quickly down. There's a lot of things that are causing this to happen. One is a major event that is taking place that could cause AT&T a lot of problems. Okay, I've done 2 videos regarding the situation about the lead issue with AT&T and Verizon as well, but ultimately AT&T is the one that will probably suffer the most when all is said and done. AT&T has been around for a very long time, and a lot of the cabling that was done, we're told, could be covered with lead. Now, this is going to be a messy cleanup for them if they're found guilty. So, you know, this is a progress here. This whole process is going to take a little bit of time because everything has to be checked, and then, of course, they have to figure out exactly how much AT&T will have to pay, how much Verizon will have to pay. Rumors were speculating that some taxpayers might have to pay, which I was very upset about in my last video regarding this subject. I made it very plain and clear that I do not believe taxpayers should have to pay for any of these wireless carriers' mistakes or any of their cutting corners. But regardless of what I'm saying regarding taxpayers, AT&T will surely enough have to pay something, and it's going to be very large. Okay, now this could be enough to drag them deep into debt, even more than they already are now. Obviously, probably 4 times over what they might actually owe already. So this is going to be a concerning issue for them. I'm sure they're sweating bullets right now, and they're just trying to figure out how they can come out of this without, you know, going bankrupt. Now, they've denied that they've done anything wrong in some article responses to the situation regarding these lead-covered cables. They've said that, you know, we've done our own research, and these do not pose, you know, these cables do not pose any threats to anyone, and, you know, we did all our research and homework and yada yada yada. That's not what we're hearing. Specialized forces have been looking the situation over, and they are indeed finding that this is going to be a problem. Okay, so we have the lead issue, we have the heavy balance sheet of debt that they've been carrying for quite some time now, right? And investors just don't want to be bothered with these problems. Okay, investors immediately shy away, even from a household name like AT&T. You know, they're very quick to turn their back on you. They see that you have a huge problem on the way, they don't want to know you. And it's the same thing that goes on with Verizon, okay? And it would happen to TMobile as well. Whenever they make some kind of mistake or there's a data breach, their stock comes tumbling down too. But the problem here with AT&T is it's been going down, continues to go down, and it's, according to records, this is the lowest it's been in pretty much, I believe, since the stock hit the markets. This is very low for them, so it's like an all-time low at this point. So they're saying that the shares are basically historically inexpensive based on this company's guidance for 2023. So we're going to get into a little bit of the article now. So the dividend yield is also on the high side, coming in around 7.35%. There are a couple of reasons why investors may be excited about AT&T stock. So they're saying that the company's first growth is slowing after a period of rapid subscriber gains during the pandemic. AT&T expects to gain just 300,000 net paid phone subscribers in the second quarter. That's less than half of what it is typically gaining in 2021. Second, AT&T still has a lot of debt left over from its failed foray into media business. While AT&T has spun off and otherwise disposed of its acquired media assets, including Water Media, its balance sheet is still riddled with debt. And at the end of the first quarter, AT&T total debt stood at $137 billion. Now, I heard rumors that AT&T might have to pay upwards of $60 billion, or at least that's how much the cleanup might be. So AT&T will probably have to cover at least $20 billion of that. I think there was 3 companies involved. It was AT&T, Verizon, and it was another company that we know of. So my guess is AT&T is going to be on the hook for at least 20 to maybe even 35 billion, because they have the most cabling out there. So the issue is going to pretty much fall into their lap. They have the most cabling with these lead exposures in it. So you tack that on, let's just say 30 billion. So now their debt is going to go up to about 167 billion. That is going to be really difficult for them to get out of this, okay? So that's why investors are very concerned, and that's why they're getting excited, because they're going to be betting against AT&T. When it comes to options, they're going to be betting against it, not with it. So it's not going to be a stock that you buy and hold on to. This is going to be an option that you bet against, and you're going to bet that it's going to tank, and you're going to get your money off of that. This is not a hold, buy and hold stock anymore, not right now. That would require a massive turnaround, and with the amount of debt that they're getting, possibly for this cleanup and what they already have, it's going to be a while before we see AT&T's stock go anywhere but down. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll stop around 11, 12 bucks. But I'm telling you right now, if they are responsible for cleaning, it's going to tank. It's going to tank to probably around $12, if not a little more. So, obviously in the article here, the biggest issue is, like I said, the lead, okay? So there was also an analyst downgrade from JP Morgan, Philip Cusick, who became less optimistic about the AT&T stock on Friday, largely because of this uncertainty around the lead cable situation. He said that he knocked the rating down from neutral while lowering his price target on the stock from $22 to $17. It says that Cusick is worried that the liability from the leftover lead cables is impossible to predict and could act as a cloud over the stock for years. On top of that issue, the analyst expected the wireless business to slow further this year as competitors wrap up promotions, and he sees the fiber business gaining fewer new subscribers as well. So that's the thing right now, is fiber is really all AT&T has. Okay, we just did a video about how they're doing a promotion on fiber to try to keep the wireless customers. If you're a wireless customer, you get a deal on fiber, which is a very good deal, and I commended them in that video because this is pretty much what they need to do in order to continue, to find a way to attract their wireless customers. Because let's just face it, AT&T has not really done much on the wireless side as far as plans go. They haven't really been offering, there hasn't been any updates that are offering anything competitive or really worth, nothing attractive. They did something to the prepaid side where if you pay a year in advance, you get deals on that, and it's not so bad, but not everybody wants to pay a year in advance for service that they may not want, right? Like if you're just coming to AT&T and you're not familiar with their service, you don't want to pay for a year. You may not like them. You may not enjoy the service. You may not have a good experience with the prepaid side. Customer service on prepaid isn't as good as it is on postpaid. Arguably, I say arguably because it's all situation based, right? You might get a really good prepaid customer service rep, or you might get a really bad one. But typically, when you break it down, the postpaid customers tend to know a little bit more. They're trained a little bit better, and because you're postpaid, you're likely to get more of a postpaid experience, right, with the customer service reps. Typically, that's how it would go. So that's the thing. AT&T doesn't have that much to offer on the wireless side right now. The plans need a revamp. Offering a deal on fiber is really the only attractive thing for a wireless customer. So it's incentive to stay because you get to keep your wireless service. and you get a fiber discount, and you bundle it up, so both with one carrier, you don't have to have two separate bills, so I mean, I think that's a smart move. I think they need to, I think it's good that they did that, but I definitely think they need to reevaluate their plans, and they need to try to offer some kind of incentive, because they are losing a lot of customers, and it's a shame. I love the network. I think it's a very reliable, dependable network. I hate to see them go down this road, but they've made a lot of poor decisions, as have many of these carriers. It's something that I've been saying for a while. They really need to take a look in the mirror and ask themselves, what are we doing? What have we done wrong, and what can we do better? Because, the clock is ticking on some of these carriers. They're losing too much money too fast. And with MVNOs more and more coming every day, every week, there's projects going on that we're not even aware of right now. Why do people want to pay as much as they're paying, especially when the economy is as bad as it is now? Job loss is very bad. Home living is expensive, rent's expensive, mortgages are expensive, jobs are not really giving enough raises to match the cost of living. Health insurance goes up every year. Your 1% raise doesn't cover your health insurance going up alone, your rent or your food and everything else. So people are tired of spending, and that's why one of the first things they say is wireless subscribers are going to slow down, because people are tired of paying for high-end service, and especially when they're not really enjoying it. They're not getting enough to justify their price. So AT&T really has a lot to worry about right now. They're AT&T. It's not the first time they've had problems like this. They'll figure it out, but they definitely need to figure it out. Figuratively speaking, they need to sit down with a pen and pad and figure out, what can we do to make this better? Right now, they're basically going all in on fiber because they feel at a loss with wireless. Deployments on the wireless side have slowed down. They're still current. They're still in process, but they've definitely slowed down. I think they just simply can't afford to do it. They're focusing more on deployments on the fiber side. That's pretty much where they're putting all their capital. We've read a number of news articles regarding that, because they've been seeing a growth in that. So that's why they figure, well, we can use the fiber as a method to try to keep our wireless customers. And it's really all we have to offer our wireless customers right now, because obviously they probably can't afford to make any plan adjustments. They don't want to take any price hits, and they probably don't want to give anything more, because it would cost them more to offer better service for less money. So they're kind of stuck. Right now, financially, they're drowning, and that's a lot of why we're not seeing much deployments on the wireless side, and also plan changes. I think they really don't have much to offer right now because they can't afford it. It would hurt them too much. Anything that they've been investing has been in fiber. So I think when all is said and done, for a little while, we might continue to see their stock take a hit. Once the lead bill comes out, it'll take another hit. They'll add more debt to their balance sheet. And I don't know. I really don't know what they'll need to do in order to get out of this. From a business perspective, it's rough, Straight up, it's rough. I think focusing on fiber is actually a good idea right now, since they are seeing growth with that. But I think they have to really, when they can, as soon as they can, they need to revamp their wireless plans and make it worth it for a lot of customers. Definitely. That's really all we can do right now, is wait and see. All right, guys, be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Link will be down in the description for you guys regarding the article. I took bits and pieces from it, but you can read it on your own. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't go over in it. I just wanted to give you a little bit of it, and a lot of it was just my thought process on this, how I feel about the current situation with AT&T, where I think they're heading, and then, you know, a little bit of what I think they should be doing. But at the end of the day, yeah, they got to sit down with that pen and pad and just go through all the stuff they've done wrong and figure out how they can do it better. And they have to focus on consumers, okay? They have to focus on getting business back to basics, you know? They need to focus on getting more consumers, more business customers would help too. They need to try to make their plans more attractive, and they need to try to find a way to make it affordable without taking a massive hit, which is going to be hard because they need the money right now. But I think if they did some of those things, we would see some growth with AT&T. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.